5 a.m. minus 12. It really laid down the beet juice. We like to spread beet juice. The city's really good at using this shit. And they use it at all the intersections and the hills and stuff in town. And they literally have like this trailer with the water tank on it, and it holds beet juice, and they just sprinkle it down. Most people probably don't know much about it, but it's highly corrosive and just destroys your vehicles, but it's good for keeping the ice off the roads, I guess. Not that, you know, I'd rather have ice than corroded fucking truck parts. But anyways, turn that down, because I noticed in the last video it was just in the background. We're going to go out. We would have grabbed some boilers and some fuel tanks. That was straight red light there, Hyundai. I'm gonna get stuck in slow lane behind this person. We gotta go out to Rapid Creek. There's 2 fuel skids and 2 boilers. So we're gonna grab those. The 2 fuel skids gotta go back to direct tanks in ACHENSON, and then the 2 boilers gotta come back to I can't remember what the name of it is. Prime Boilers. Yeah, in Queens. Dan will be coming out with me. Supposedly they're just small boilers. I'm like, because he's like, yeah, you're gonna have to deck off and stuff the other boiler. I'm like, how small are these boilers? Because I'm like, usually it's everything in my powers to struggle to try to handle a boiler. Some of them. This is the kind of shit here. It's fucking 3 homos doing the same speed, but we gotta drive in both lanes. Anyways, yeah, I was like, these gotta be the world's smallest boilers if I'm stuffing them on. Or maybe they're the, oh fuck, I'm just all over the place today. We got those Schroddies, LV. They're really small boilers, but they're heavy as fuck. There's no way you'd be taking 2 on one trailer, that's for sure. So, I don't know if that's a thing or not, but it's hard to say they would have 2 boilers heating 2 different C rings that you could fit on one load. I'm like, there isn't a boiler that fills this niche of heating. I'm like, the amount of boiler you need to heat a C ring is pretty big. And it's been cold lately. Well, it's warmed up in the last couple of days, but the last, like, previous week was fucking 28, 30 below. We're gonna need a lot. Going a turn signal or not. So I don't know. We're gonna find out though, because we're gonna have to go out there and deal with it. So 2 fuel skids for me. Hopefully they're the smaller ones, since these are such small boilers. Because I got to take 2 of them to ACHENSON. They got a decent unload area there at direct tanks. Sometimes they let us come right in their yard now when it's in between 8 and 5 or whatever their working hours are. And they got a big forklift. They just come right out and just scoop them right off the trailer. But if I got a scissor flat, which it'll be no big problem to unload them double suck style, if they should be empty. They got decent skids on them, so everything should be alright. But if they're small enough where I don't have to scissor flat to get them both on, then the forklift will just come out and stab them and take them off and put them aside for me. I won't even have to do any winch lining action. Might just treat them like 2 400s and stuff them on, you know, since I'm gonna be decked off. But they're in 2 different spots, about, I don't know, not that very far apart. That was where the rig that we helped VDM move, where that Chinook bed with the single steer floater was handling the sub. That's where the frack was going on. So it's somewhere in that area out there on the Rapide Creek Road. Stay tuned.
Tripping and tripping. We live and we learn. We crash and we burn. We're alone in this world. We rise and we fall. We're running for all. Pick yourself up off the
same length. This one's 2 meters longer. So now we gotta scissor down Dan's unit here. Kind of really screwed the whole situation. Frank bit me back. That was way much more work than I anticipated for the day. Holy shiz Nike! Wasn't so bad, you know. Dan's issue with one of the boilers was like 2 meters longer than the other boiler, which the first one we loaded, we pasted out. We're like, hey, might be heavy on the ass end, but you're only gonna have like 2 feet overhang. I'm like, you'll be golden. Go get the second one. Yeah, it's 2 meters longer, so. Oh, yeah, and then just did my due diligence, grabbed the planks. I don't even know if they're their planks. I didn't see a single plank in that yard. But it's a good idea. Pick up shit. I'm like, I don't know. Nobody says anything. If I just leave it there, somebody will yell at me that I left the planks. If I take the planks and take them there, they'd be like, yay, planks. I'm like, we could use extra planks at the yard for sure, but put the boiler, okay, side by side was fine, but then the other one was like, the fuel tank was behind the other boiler. It looked like a huge soft mud hole at that point. I'm like, I didn't chain up yet. I'm like, could get away with doing this without chaining up. So I tried to go around the backside. I'm like, yeah, it looks pretty snowy in here. Be fine once I had the tank on, but it might be a problem getting to the tank. So, and then Dan's loaded and scissored flat. So the last thing I need to be doing is getting him to deck off. Look at that beautiful place. Chief Enoch Recreational Centre. I haven't been down here for a while. This is the Enoch Reserve. We're just down from the casino, White Mud Casino. I think that's what it's called, the river or something. I can't remember. I've never been to the parking lot once. That was it. Never been in there. Picked up somebody there one time. Metalomaniacs? Is that what that said? Oh yeah, that's just a ton of work for one dude. Then I was like, man, I paced out my fuel skids. I'm like, they better be the same length. That would have been a lot of work for one kid. So, anyways, that was. And then the snow. Wasn't snowing when I left home, and then all of a sudden, just as soon as we got out there, poof, snow. Like, okay, well. It sucks for footage because you can't see very far when you do road footage, but it was fairly white conditions. I was like, I can't see. I'm like, is this the approach? Is there a ditch here? I'm like, I can't see it. Drove right into a huge snow pile on that second lease and almost got stuck. I was like, quick, reverse. So yeah, not bad. And then this morning I was talking about, oh yeah, they got forklift holes in the side that sometimes they'll just unload you with the forklift. I'm like, super golden because you're there within working hours. If not, you got to do all that out front. They got like, it's a pretty decent pad and it's workable. I don't think I've ever had to deck off. They used to have an old shop that was just right off Highway 16 in a winter burn there, just past the Highway 60 overpass. That was a nightmare to get in there. I barely had enough room to like leave my trailer out where I could get my 330-inch bed truck in behind it so I could pull them off. I could have undouble sucked, but I'm just like, you know, those things are just, they're both banana, just the tiniest bit, which that'll make, that's, you've seen it probably going down the trailer through that camera maybe. and it was just like a fish. You got to be kind of careful. I did have some pins on the inside just to keep it, but even at that, there was still like, holy crap. Sometimes if you had an auxiliary, get it into first in the auxiliary and put it in bull low and just leave the dogs and just drive with it and just kind of steer a little bit to counteract the fishiness, the fishtailing of the skid. Lord thunder and Jesus. So yeah, well, that's the day. I guess it's gonna be snowy. What is it? It's Tuesday, supposedly Saturday, or on the weekend we got to move a bunch of stuff out there to that, from the North Brewster to the other Brewster, which is the one that's got the crazy hill that I did that rig move with VDM. So we'll see how things are. I'd rather it be fully snow than warm and muddy, tell you that. Because like I said, if we're going to that same location, because that location, if it's warm, that, I can't remember, 811, 11 of 8, whatever that, all that clay road that had that sponge hole right after the bridge, it's just like blah. That'll be a nightmare if it's warm and muddy. It'll be 2 sets and a steer for sure to get in and out of there. Or at least the steer on there with a set. Which reminds me, I need to do some setting. Get another new pair of chains. I know I talked about it a couple videos ago, but I need to get one new set on, because even both of my sets are pretty bitched. If I had to struggle somewhere, they'd be flying apart. Alright, well, thanks for watching. We'll do a little bit of time-lapse drive home, and then we'll cut her short. I don't think there's anything special going on at the shop. We were going to talk about getting some wide pins for the 10 wides he was going to start making. Totally going the opposite way. And to deal with those 10 wides, it's just going to be some channel I think is going to go in underneath the bottom side of the roll. And they're just gonna pin in easy in a piece of like a square pocket like you would have on your trailer. It'll just slide in there, you'll pin it. It's just to keep the mat so it doesn't right off the roll. He's like, you want something a little safe, because when I do it without nothing in the roll at all, like, it's just a matter of moments before something might happen, but whatevs. Other than that, I think we're going to talk about that. I should be home back to the shop. As long as he's there when I get there, we can fucking talk about that. I'll fill you in on what's going on with that. I could do a demo, maybe. Who knows when that'll get done. Alright, stay tuned. We'll see you back in a bit, maybe.
Brunch time.
Uma ameaça foi detectada. Uma ameaça foi detectada.